Hey everyone! So this is my reflection on my video poem that we did for class. This was my absolute favorite project we worked on. I could have done this project all semester long if I had it my way. I loved the creativity and the freedom that the project gave us. I'll show you a bit of my projects just for comparison. Over on this side, this is my draft, and over on this side, this is my final. So, here we go. Here's parts of my draft. And this is my official poem, my final product.
Find in the Hamptons a canal full of tens of thousands of dead fish. What could have caused this?
Yeah, so those are my two videos. You can see that they're a bit different from each other, but they do have similar content like they should. So let me talk about my process a little bit. I couldn't really decide on a poem, which was the most hardest part of this project. I'm in an American poetry class this semester, so every day I left class, I would be filled with like a different idea on what poem I wanted to do. But I finally had to choose one, so I settled on Marianne Moore's poem, The Fish, because I loved the imagery in the poem, and I thought I could do a lot with it in a visual form. It's a great poem. So what I did next was I found images for my video. I didn't really know my idea yet. I just knew I did want to keep it tied in with the fish and do marine life and ocean life, but I didn't have like a main point to it yet. So I went basically to this website, Free Stock Video Footage. I went to other ones too, but this was one of the main ones, and I downloaded a ton of my pictures from this, or a ton of my videos from this website. I have this one in my video. I have this sea turtle in my video, and a ton of other ones too. Those were some of the main ones though. I went to that website and used it, and you can see in my project file here are a lot of the clips that I used for the project. I have dolphins, clownfish, coral reef, divers, a fish, a sea anemone, a shark, jellyfish. It was really fun to just pick a bunch of random videos. I had to contain myself from picking too many. Then I went to freesound.org, and I just found a piece of music that I liked that I thought would give it sort of a serious tone, because by then I knew that I wanted my poem to be semi-serious. And I added it into my video as I was editing it. So my initial video, I'll pull that one up. I had a lot of ideas going through my head, and I honestly went a little wild with my editing tools. One of the things you can see is In every one of my shots, I decided to juxtapose the image of nature as black and white and human footage as in color, and this was kind of to represent the effects of humans on ocean life and nature. So the humans are obviously in color to represent like the dominance of that humans have over nature, and then things with marine life or ocean life were kept in black and white to represent the effects that humans were having on nature. I also didn't really have a set pattern to why I put videos in certain places. I just kind of picked at random from the files on my computer, but I did have a pattern of like human, fish, human, fish, and I tried to keep that up throughout. Another part of my poem that was a little troubling, or not troubling, that I used just a little too much, was the use of this fade out editing tool. So I used that a ton. You can see it here. I liked it at this part, but where it started to kind of get cluttered was at the end of my poem. I found this image of this murky water, and I kept it in my poem, my video poem, because I tried to represent like final pollution and like the residue that's left over from humans, and even if humans don't go in the ocean anymore, the fish and the animals still have to live there. But honestly, it just got a little too much. I don't really think the effect was as powerful as I thought it was, which is okay. I definitely learned based on the comments my classmates gave me, but I went a little nuts with that editing tool. I also, something else in my draft that I needed to work out was the very end of it. I'll play a little piece right here.
But it begins to starve. But that image was
Researchers collected details of how 192 coaches.
So in that, I had like different news clips of basically stories on different pollution in the ocean and the effects. There was really no specific thing I wanted my viewers to hear from it. I just wanted them to kind of get the overwhelming feeling of like, this is a problem, this is in our news, and like, look at this story, this story, this story, this story. It was more of the overwhelming feeling I was going for. But my wonderful classmates did give me some things to work on. Professor Anderson told me he liked the gesture, but wondered if perhaps I should make the newscast happen earlier. And then other people basically told me the same thing. They liked the song choice I used. So those comments really helped me narrow it down. One of the things that I chose to do in my final was I took out the black and white effects. I just left everything in the original color. I think it just helped a lot in its effect. I also didn't really use any of the see-through button effects. I just left everything as individual shots, and I did try to pair my videos in some sense of order. For example, I kept the jellyfish with the lines ash heap, because the way jellyfish were moving reminded me of the way ash moves when it gets like moved by wind, and just how it's very light and airy. The shark I did for opening and shutting itself like an injured fan, because you can see its mouth is continuously opening and shutting, and I thought that was kind of a cool way to represent that line. I did the clownfish with the sun line because they're very bright and beautiful, just like a sun is. I did the fish as illuminating the turquoise sea of bodies, because in the ocean, what the bodies are is fish. I did iron through the iron edge of the cliff, because you can see that this is kind of like a rocky cliff in the ocean, and I really liked the sea lion. So I gave the order of my videos a little more thought than I had originally, and then ultimately throughout my video I would stop and play news clips, which I think really added to like a final powerful message like this one. and this one. And then this one. And this one.
First up tonight, the breaking news. In fact, it's heartbreaking news for anyone who counts on the Gulf Coast for a living or simply loves the natural beauty of it. It is murder.
So those were just some ways I fixed up my video. Ultimately, I think I really had a much stronger video poem at the end of my editing process. But one thing I did think was cool was I did get a lot of attention on my first YouTube video. I even got comments on it telling me it was inspiring, which I thought was really funny. I'll show you. How do I get my channel? My channel. There we go. I got 32 views on it, and this comment down here saying, "Soul Awakening, thanks for the video montage. Always love Moore's poetry and the philosophy she shared." So I thought that was kind of cool that somebody out there saw my video and understood it, and I thought that was pretty reassuring. I did have problems with my Camtasia again when doing this video. I had to restart the poem from scratch. The same issue happened where they couldn't upload my files, but it honestly worked out in the end because I was able to start with a clean idea of what I wanted to do, and that it ultimately worked out for the best, though it was, again, a tedious, frustrating process, but I loved the assignment so much that it was worth it.